I'm just wondering, John, how much the last two performances and 2 points give you something to build from. I guess, as you said at the weekend, it's another point on the total, but it doesn't send you flying up the table. Is it a foundation? Is that a base that you need to build on from here on in?
You can get it to be whatever you want it to be, can't you? You can look at it glass half full, glass half empty. Haven't won in a few, or we've unbeaten in 2. It's just an ongoing process of trying to dig in. The one thing we had to do was tighten up defensively, which we have. Has it been at the expense of being as open attacking wise as what we normally are? I was looking back to the first few games of the season, and we were having 25, 26 shots against Charlton and Burton and that. But undoubtedly, what's been our big problem this season has been conceding too many goals, but too many goals in quick succession. I've lost count of the amount of times teams have scored more than one in a minute against us, and that's really frustrating. So we did have to tighten up. You need a little bit of luck along the way, and you need a little bit of good play along the way. So if you go back to early on in the season when Lucas was in goal, and big part of the season when Toby was in goal, very often the first shot on our goal went in, and you could argue that the keeper could do nothing about it because it was too good a chance and they didn't really have much chance to save it. But now and again, your keeper has to pull out a really good save. Now, unfortunately for us, both keepers have been pulling off really good saves this season, but a lot of the time it's when they're already behind, or when we're already behind, sorry. And they don't have as much of an impact. Lucas made a really good save after about 5 minutes on Saturday. Made a good one in the second half and didn't really get troubled. Didn't really get troubled at all against Port Vale either. But they are crucial saves when you need to make them. And Toby has pulled off quite a few of them this season as well. And it does become the difference between winning and losing. And Toby's been responsible for quite a few of them this season where we've won a game that he's kept us in it to initially. And that's how important players are on the side. Not just goalkeepers, it might be a tackle. It might be a headed clearance. It might be outpacing someone. And if I look back then at Jay Rich getting his injury, he's got his injury to stop them scoring. Outpaced the lads, nicked it away from him, gets fouled, and the rest is history. He's out for the season. But then, if you take it further, if you eliminate as many mistakes as you can out of your play, they don't lead. Mistakes can all lead to goals. Losing the ball cheaply in your own half, or losing the ball cheaply in their half and getting counted on. Mo taking Pickles out for their opportunity in the second half on Saturday. You've just got to eliminate them. So you need a little bit of luck, but you've got to apply yourself to the very, very best, to your max. And I think defensively we have done over the last couple of games, and that might be because we perceive as though we're not as strong as what we normally are in there with, inexperience galore. But that can work in your favour. And the complacency shouldn't be there with the younger lads because they're fresh and they should be keen and they should be more vigilant. Like a learner driver, someone just passed the test, you're more vigilant, aren't you, when you're driving on the motorway than if you've been driving for 20 years. And so hopefully we can build on that and then get ourselves more involved in the attacking side of the game, which we showed a good first half performance in that respect. We had a lot of ball around our box, made a couple of good chances. And we've got to get back to that. We've got to get more of that, but keep the same as well, defensively.
It's 1 goal from open play since you beat Bristol Rovers. I think that's 6 games ago. Clearly that's not something that's generally associated with your teams. Is that about confidence? Is that about trying your luck, having a shot?
I was feeling good about myself till he said that. Thanks for reminding me. Listen, we've got to listen. Said listen again. No. We've just got to keep going and keep trying to pass the ball when we can in the right areas. Get people in the box. Get people in positions where they can affect the game, where they can score goals. You know, it's been difficult for Sean to get forward. He's been possibly a little bit too defensive and you can understand it. You know, he's an experienced lad. He's desperate for the team to do well. He doesn't want to concede. Knows how important that is, and yet it was good to see him getting on the ends of a cross and, you know, a bit more luck with that. It goes in. He's hit it probably the one place that he's wanted it, but he's, you know, we can only connect and make sure he gets on target. And we need to see more of that. We need more end product of the skill of Ross as well. We need him to start looking like he's going to score. He put a couple of good crosses over on Saturday, but he's got to look like he's going to score. And if we get more and more of that, the more Seb beds in, I think he'll look more dangerous as well. Obviously, we've got Tommy to go in there as well. So we have got the players. Sean is always a threat, Sean Worley. And we know Aaron can be a good finisher. So, you know, we have got the threats there. We've just got to try and utilise them.
Is drawing away from home good if you can win at home?
I think too many draws end up hampering you because you stay where you are or you go backwards. You need a win from wherever you can get it. And every game we play, I keep saying this, I'm saying to the lads on Saturday, you know, I'm going to start boring you with the team talk, so it's going to be the same every week. How important the game is, how important it is to stay in the game. And yeah, you know, if you can take 4 points in a week, it's unbelievable. So, from that respect, any win's welcome, whether it's home or away, whether it's on the back of a draw or back of a defeat. We're desperate to get a win. You know, as you said, we haven't scored a lot of goals, but we haven't won since the Bristol Rovers game. And we've got to keep on applying ourselves and hope that we get a little bit of luck, or hope that a little bit of skill shines through.
Our teams come in here with a different outlook and a different approach, given you've only won 3 league games at home this season, when traditionally you would have won, let's say, the bulk of your games at home.
Well, you could argue that we're coming with a different approach because we haven't got the players that we should have available. So I don't think there's a mindset of teams coming here thinking all of a sudden we fancy our chances against Aki, we were scared of them in the first place. I don't think that's ever been the case. But whatever team I put out, or we put out, whatever team we put out, we've got to trust them, and you know, they're honest lads, aren't they? You know, they'll give their all, and you've seen that on Saturday, that they are prepared to give their all, they are prepared to throw the bodies in the way. And the more you do that, the more confidence they get, that they see the fact that if they work hard, they can get something at the end of it. It might only be a point, but other days it might be 3.
Wycombe have found some form. They're one of the informed teams in the division. I think it feels like year on year Gareth Ainsworth manages to keep them competitive. I know there's an appreciation between the two of you of the job that you're doing, 2 very long-serving managers. How well has he done this year to get Wycombe back in contention? He's
done great, you know, and I think you can't compare the 2 clubs because their finances are a lot bigger than ours. So you can't compare us in that respect. But as you say, the longevity and the way he has to keep reinventing his teams is good. And, you know, as I said, I get on really well with Gareth, and I hope he does really well, but not on Tuesday.
When you've been managing for a long time and you come up against somebody that's been managing the same team for a long time, are there any surprises? Will you both know what to expect from each other? Does that make any difference?
I think you're always capable of pulling surprises, and you're always capable of doing something different, and you've got to be like that because you've got to always try to evolve. But you know that their mentality, you'll know our mentality because we've been coming up against each other for ages. But football is littered with surprises. One thing, being involved in the football industry, you should never be surprised by anything. And people might be surprised if we actually score a goal or win tomorrow. We know we're capable, and we believe that when we play anybody here, we can take the game to them, as we did to a Premiership team the other week.
What's the personnel situation looking like?
Hopefully getting a few more back this week. We've got a 23s game which will give us an indication more about the fitness to the end of the week. But thankfully we had no major concerns from the weekend.